I really would like to.
By the way, it actually has to do with tonight's daf.
What, suicide?
Well, more death?
No, suicide. It has a little bit to do with today's daf.
Gewaldic. I'm so excited. I can hardly wait.
Yeah. Look who's there. Welcome.
Hi.
What are you doing
There
here?
you go.
Gersh, did
I
you move
decided
yet,
to
by the
finally
way?
give in.
Gershi,
you
you
move
moved
yet?
to South Bend?
Not yet. It's another, I don't know, 6 weeks or so.
Where are you
Oh,
going?
wow.
Cleveland.
Going to Cleveland?
You're going closer to Simon. You're going closer to Simon.
4 hours. 4 hours. I've been there once or twice now since I've been here.
Oh, yeah? That's it?
Another
I
beautiful
could
city.
go 4 hours away and go to Brooklyn, too.
You can make it. You can make it to the 8. What do you call it? The Van Wyck.
Yeah.
Gershi, why are you moving to Cleveland? I mean, God bless you. Good for you getting the heck out of New York. But why are you moving to Cleveland?
Yeah, you spelled it. Getting out of New York.
God bless you. You should have called me. You jerk.
Sure.
All right, we ready to roll?
Yep.
We're recording.
That's when the action usually starts.
By the way, it's Yaakov. What got this girl out of committing suicide was she heard all the screaming going on in my house. She says, "Oh, okay, mine's not so bad."
Okay. All right, listen.
Silver linings, huh?
Yeah.
God, the gallows humor is amazing.
Okay, anyways, just the chazan from yesterday. What do we do? Mem Daled, right? Shimon says that oil or drips can be used on Shabbos. Then we have the Mishnah Mem Daled and Mem Daled. Moving an unused lamp and a used lamp. And the Reb Shimon says that the only lamp that's muktza is if it's actually on, if it's actually lit. After it's lit, it's no problem. Then we have 4 opinions about muktza status of lamps. And we said Reb Shimon doesn't allow oil from large lamps, but from small lamps he does, because again, for a small lamp, he's not Masiyach Das from all the oil, but from a large lamp, he expects the large lamp to light a whole Shabbos. So therefore, he doesn't think that he'll ever get the oil. So if oil drips out, that's still muktza even according to Reb Shimon. Then we said muktza because of Isser. And then we said making a bed muktza by just thinking that the money will be kept on. I mean, we said buses, making something that's a base, right? Just happens to be the word buses and base are the same thing. And, or similar. But the Gemara first thinks in the Havamina that you can just by thinking you're going to put money on your bed, that would make your bed muktza. Then the Gemara ends up saying on Amud Beis that that's not true. Thinking doesn't do it, only actually placing the money on there. And then we discussed the case of the wheel of the wagon. We said at least 4 cases where the wheel is not part of the wagon. We had a machlokes if we say something unusable during Ben Hashmashos, stays unusable for the entire Shabbos, that's Migdus Katzoi. Then we had a proof that Rav says like Rebbi Yehuda from hanging the lamp on trees. And then that's what we got up to. Yeah? Fine. So Mem Hey Amud Aleph about V'Rav Rebbi Yehuda Svirale. 1, 2, 3, 6 lines down and Mem Hey Amud Aleph. V'Rav Rebbi Yehuda Svirale. Does Rav hold like Rebbi Yehuda? Right, the Rav, they asked the Shaila from Rav, can you take your chanuka menora? And the Chavre, Rashi says, it was a nation, they were with the Parsiim, and obviously they were not interested in seeing Jews keeping Chanukah. So what's the din? Can somebody take his menorah on Shabbos and move it? Right? Again, can you take this menorah and move it on Shabbos because of these guys? You want to hide it, meaning you lit it. Then you heard these guys are coming. Can you move it? Right? And he told them that it's a good thing. Right? Meaning it's a good, you're allowed to move it. So clearly you see that he holds like Rav holds that it's like Reb Shimon, that it's mutter. So Gemara answers Shas Atchak Shani. There was Shas Atchak. The Amud Rav Kahana v'Ravashi the Rav Hachi Hilchasa, because Rav Kahana and Ravashi said to Rav, "Is that really the halacha?" Amalu Kedai Hu Reb Shimon Lismechala b'Shas Atchak. We had this way back in Brachos that he said it's Kedai Reb Shimon to be Samechana b'Shas Atchak. Since this was a Shas Atchak, because meaning really you should not be able to move the menora on Shabbos, right? But
Hi, Asal. I hope all is well. Please send regards to your father.
But since it's a Shas Atchak, so we give a Simon Chanav Shimon that it's not muktza. Yeah. So Simon, this is where it gets into, and Yisrael, this is what it gets into. I actually, part of this whole COVID business is that the cleaning ladies aren't coming. So I was washing the dishes today, right? So I figure I put on.
So that's where the suicide comes from.
Sort of. But
Yeah, but it's for you. You do that when it's not Shas Atchak either. So
what?
You do that when it's not Shas Atchak either.
No, that wasn't the Shas Atchak I'm talking about. So I decided I got to do something when I'm washing the dishes. So sometimes I'll make phone calls. I didn't have any phone calls, so I put on Rabbi Leibowitz's Daf Yomi from this morning to listen. Why not? So he said from Reb Shlomo Kluger from this Gemara that he wants to bring a raya. Well, let's just say the case. Why is this guy lighting a menorah when there's a sakana? Right? You got what are you doing? Which let's not go
part of the outdoor minion.
Let's not go with the outdoor minyanim. Yes, no, we got it. Let's not go there. But if it's a sakana, so then why are you lighting your menorah? So the question is, do we have to bail this guy out? Right? Well, he's an idiot for lighting the menorah when he knows that. I mean, we learned way back in Mehmet Likin that Shas sakana you light inside. This guy lit outside anyways. So why do we gotta? So we see. He wants to bring a raya from this. I think, is that what he said? He wants to bring a raya from this, that even somebody who is doing something to damage himself, still we still have to try and bail him out. And that gets into the whole shaila. They got into the whole shaila with somebody's committing suicide. Do we save him or do we not save him? But anyways, that's interesting that you brought it up. That's all.
Why wouldn't you try to save someone who wanted to commit suicide out of just morbid curiosity, I guess?
No, because if he is trying to ruin himself, so then who? No, I mean, of course you don't want to try and save him. Are you Mechal Shabbos? I'm sorry, I should have clarified it. Are you Mechal Shabbos? Here we're saying that you're Mechal Shabbos, right? The guy lit a menorah outside. He shouldn't have done that. We're saying, okay, now you could be Mechal Shabbos. You could be Simon Chan Reb Yehuda. We don't normally paskin like. At least Rav didn't paskin like. So we're going to be Simon Chan Reb Shimon Shas Atchak. What do you mean? Why? You shouldn't have lit the menorah outside in the first place, right? So we say to the guy, which I should be Mechal Shabbos because somebody decides he wants to do some damage to himself. So therefore, I should be Mechal Shabbos.
Isn't one stupidity and one is kind of less stupid and more seemingly
doesn't make a difference. If somebody is damaging himself, who says we should be Mechal Shabbos for that? Lemaisa we paskin that you do, Simon. Don't worry about it. But there are opinions.
No, I'm just talking about the actual discussion. I know how. I'm pretty sure I'm figuring out how we paskin. I just don't understand why there would be an actual shaila about it.
No, because if a guy is doing something to himself, so then why do we have to say? Meaning, if you have a guy, let's take it from Hatzalah perspective. You have two guys. One guy did no social distancing whatsoever, and you have another guy who did social distancing. They both have to go to the hospital. Which one are you gonna go take care of first?
Well, obviously the guy who tried, but
okay, but why should you? Why should you?
So does that mean if I know people who just don't care, they throw caution to the wind, they're running, going to bars and all that stuff, and I know someone who's literally
not getting involved,
dying sick of COVID. No, go ahead and cough on that guy.
So somebody was speaking to Dr. Lightman. He says when people come to his office and he's sick with COVID, he knows exactly which minyanim they're a part of.
Oh, okay. No, but let me just tell you. Sometimes, I get this all the time. People end up with shilas, not with bikuach nefesh, but shilas where the people did something stupid and now they have to be bailed out with b'di'eveds and shas atchaks. And sometimes I tell them, listen, I am going to go to hell for you, right? Because if I'm going out on a limb to paskin, right, on something that's crazy cool and I'm wrong, and I'm doing it to bail you out for doing it because you did something stupid.
So Yaakov, they bring down from the Ritva that it's only this sock was only for something obviously that's not life threatening. Because if it was life threatening, you wouldn't need to rely. You wouldn't need to rely on muktza or not. You could go ahead and you could be Machal Shabbos for life.
Right. That's a different.
So obviously we're not talking about a scenario that's where's the raya? There's no raya. This is a scenario where they'll beat you up or they'll steal your money. It's not. We're not talking. There's no raya. It's a real life.
Okay, so that's situation. A different. Right. So that's a different question.
No, it's not different. This is clearly not a case of life threatening things. We're talking about muktza here. We're not talking.
No, not everybody agrees. That's not everybody agrees to that. Some say
we're talking about muktza. You could be Machal Shabbos. Why would the Gemara have to come on to the svar of we've been possible like Shimon?
But there
so
are
obviously it's not life threatening.
There are those that learn that this Gemara is life-threatening. What Akiva is saying.
Why do you need a Shimon to say you can go ahead and save yourself during Pekuach Nefesh?
Because I forgot how they answered that.
But over here,
even if you did something wrong, if it's Pekuach Nefesh, you could save yourself.
Correct.
I
don't remember
you could still
how
save yourself.
Tzviako, what would the halacha be if it was still lit?
Right. You could. Of course, you can move it.
And no, that's true. That's
so. Then why do we need to come out to Reb Shimon?
I don't remember the answer. I have to look it up. I obviously can't look it up now. I will get you the answer. How the others learn pshat in this Gemara. But there are those that learn. Otherwise,
they're saying a Durabban is going to be daicha b'kuach nefesh.
I don't remember how they say pshat. I have to get you the pshat. But they do. There are those that disagree. Yes, because what Akiva is saying, the obvious question here is if we're talking about pekuach nefesh, that these chavre guys, whatever these parsiim, are going around killing people. So what's the question? Well, don't even ask a shaila, just take the menora inside, of course, right? So it's not really a sakana. That's what you're saying, right?
Right.
Yes, that's
or suffix, but even a suffix.
A suffix pekuach nefesh is still
Docha Shabbos, so it has to be totally not even a suffix.
Yeah. Where is it? Yeah, I don't know. I'm using my father's Zechron Gemara. He has a footnote here about this. I can't really read it now. Okay, we got to go weiter. But I'll look it up and I will to get back to you. Anyways, okay. So he's saying really Rav holds like Rabbi Yehuda, not like Reb Shimon, but in a Shas HaTchak, the Gemara does not call it a sakana. The Gemara calls it a Shas HaTchak. We're going to rely on Reb Shimon. Okay. Now this whole Amud is going to be about Reb Shimon's shita. So now Reb Shimon, let's say you took wheat or grains and you planted it. And you put an egg under a Aaron's wag, hen, rooster. Is he there?
A hen.
You put the eggs back under the hen, right? In order for it to actually have a chick, right? So now, Mao, what's the din there? Ki Leslie, the Rabbi Shimon muktza. So again, we said Rabbi Shimon does not hold a muktza at all, right? Rabbi Shimon doesn't hold a muktza. So, but when did he not say that? That's only where you didn't, with your own hands, meaning you didn't voluntarily make this thing muktza. But but where you pushed it with your hands, then he would hold that his muktza. It makes no difference, right? Now, meaning, Reb Shimon is saying that, let's say you have a lamp that went out, or what's another example of something that Reb Shimon holds is not muktza? The lamp that goes out and you can move it. Or if something gets disgusting.
The gross candlesticks.
Well, yeah, if something gets disgusting, thank you, anything like that. So Reb Shimon holds it's not a problem. But all that happened by itself, right? But what happens if he himself takes this thing and makes a muktza? By taking an egg and putting it under a hen, he went himself and he was proactive and he went and said, okay, I know I'm not using this egg for the rest of Shabbos because it's got to sit under that hen for a bunch of days, I think, right? So certainly for that whole Shabbos. So he himself, or planting, he knows that if he's going to need that wheat on Shabbos, he is not taking that wheat on Shabbos because he's planting it. And if he takes it on Shabbos, he's no longer going to have wheat. So therefore, that's going to grow. So therefore, he himself took it. Does Reb Shimon say there that that's also not muktza? Or there, when he actually actively takes it and makes it muktza, then Reb Shimon would agree that it's muktza. So Amalei, ein muktza Reb Shimon ella shemen shebener b'shashu dailik. So he answered, no, there's no muktza to Reb Shimon at all, except for the oil that's in a ner when it's actually lit. Why? Since it's muktza for the mitzvah, and it's also muktza for the issa, which we discussed this a while ago, and the Gemara is going to bring down that case again. There's a different type of muktza called muktza for a mitzvah, where it's not your traditional muktza that you plan on not using it, but like schach, let's say, or your lulav and esrog, right? So on Sukkot, you are not allowed to use your lulav as a broom, right? Because it's huksa la mitzvah, even when it's a chalamayid, when it's not the classic muksa, but since it's meant to be for a mitzvah, so you're not allowed to use it. Same thing with a chanuka menora, same thing with Shabbos lights or anything like that. Shabbos candles. It's huksa la mitzvah.
Why are we still talking about this particular case when like Bama Malikin was talking about tipping the lamp and stuff like that? I mean, if you're picking up a lamp, it's almost impossible to pick it up without tipping it even slightly. Why are we talking about muktzah versus an actual something that comes from the Mishnah?
What do you mean? They're putting it out? No, but now he's not talking about it. He's saying by
no. Just tipping it enough. It's one of the Mishnayos talks about tipping the lamp to keep it going, so you use up all the oil.
Right, but that was a gezerah that you need to have somebody there reading with you because you might do it. But that's how it's putting it out. That has nothing to do with, or that's like lighting it even more. This is just muktzah from the oil. That's muktzah. Right? Now we're dealing with just strictly muktzah, not because you may put it out. So there's we're saying, since it's huktzah for the mitzvah, since it's meant to light for Shabbos, so then it's also muktzah for Issa because you're not allowed to do anything with that candle. So then the Gemara says, "V'lesle huktzah l'mitzvasai," does meaning what the Gemara just said, just to repeat, is that he's saying you need both. You need it to be muktzah for the mitzvah and muktzah for the Issa, right? But mashma, it would just be muktzah for the mitzvah, then Reb Shimon would not hold of muktzah. So I'm going to ask, Leslie huktzah mitzvah, Reb Shimon doesn't hold of this whole concept of something being muktzah for a mitzvah. But Tanya, and I hope this is familiar, if you put schach, like you put your regular halachic schach, and you put it with all sorts of decorations with mitzayarin that have images, and the talaba, a geizin, a parsikin, shkedim, a reminder about pichel shanavim, itra shal shibayim, yeinish ranas lasais. You put all sorts of fruits hanging on there. Also, l'stavim men on motzei yom tov ha'achron. Once you hang them up, you are not allowed to use them until after the last motzei, the last days, after the last day's sukkahs. But if you make a tanai, hakol afi tanai, then whatever is the tanai. I mean, you could say this fruit that's hanging from the schach is only muktzah till the fourth day of Chol Hamoed, and then fourth day of sukkahs, and then I'm taking it down or I'm using it. Then you can do that. So now, okay, so you see that there's something as muktzah. The only thing is, it doesn't say here that this is Reb Shimon. So when it says, "Umaydu Reb Shimon he," and how do you know that this is Reb Shimon? The Tani Reb Chia Bar Yosef, Kamed Reb Yochanan, Ein Noitzon Eitzim Min HaSukkah V'Yontif Ela Min HaSomachla, because it says that you're not allowed to take wood from the sukkah on Yontif, only what's leaning on the sukkah, not from the actual sukkah. Reb Shimon Matir, Reb Shimon says is mutter, right? The Shavim, the sukkah Sachag B'Chag She Yasura. And then, so Reb Shimon says it's mutter, but then he says, they agree, the Shavim, the sukkah Sachag B'Chag, the sukkahs on sukkah, on sukkahs, Shehi Asura, that it's also. And if he makes it tonight, then it's all a feed of tonight. So you see, clearly Reb Shimon does agree that there's such a thing as huktzah l'mitzvah, right? So the Gemara answers, and what he means is that it's similar to Shemin Shebener, that huktzah l'mitzvah is huktzah l'isuray. It's since it's huktzah to the mitzvah, then it's also going to be huktzah to the isur. So meaning it's really one as dependent on the other one. That huktzah l'mitzvah is huktzah l'isuray. Since it's huktzah l'mitzvah, it's going to be huktzah the isur too. So you see, Reb Shimon does hold of huktzah l'mitzvah, and together with huktzah l'isur. So now the Gemara is going to say it'll get a little clearer. Reb Shimon's only muktzah is similar to, when it has to meet the similarity, it has to be similar to oil that's in an air. It has to be similar to oil that's in a candle when it's lit. Since it becomes huktzah the mitzvah, so therefore it becomes huktzah for the isur too, right? So meaning it's a combination that it's also to take the candle, and it's also it's a mitzvah to have that candle lit on Shabbos. This is another clarification of what Reb Shimon said, that Reb Shimon the only muktzas that Reb Shimon holds of is groigris, which is dried figs, and tzimukim is dried. How do you say it? Dates, right? Bovad, meaning what is that? That's when somebody's drying these things, you put it on the roof, and you put it up on the roof, and it's going to have to dry out for a few days. So a person obviously gives up any sort of hope of using that on Shabbos, right? Somebody puts it up on the roof, and let's say on Friday, so he knows it's going to stay up there in the sun till Sunday, Monday, whatever it is. He's not going to go up there and take them because they get bad. In the middle stage, they get bad. So if somebody did that, then even Reb Shimon would agree that you cannot go up to the roof and take those things down.
Dried figs and raisins, by the way.
Raisins, they call it? Okay, dried figs and raisins. Thank you. So raisins is grapes. Yeah. And does he mean that those are the only two types of fruits and that's it? If somebody was eating figs and he had leftover, he puts it on the roof. He has grapes and he puts it up there and he gets raisins. He cannot eat it until he prepares it, meaning he puts it in his head that I'm going to take from these dried things on Shabbos. Right, so you see very clearly that the Brisa says that there's many other fruits, dried fruits that you can put up on your roof or wherever you put it, and you're going to become muktza. So now, who says this Brisa is Reb Shimon? So money, Elam Rabbi Yehuda. Who, if this Brisa is Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yehuda holds even if you didn't actively make something, push it away. Dachi b'yadayim means you pushed it away with your hands, meaning anything is muktza according to Rabbi Yehuda if you didn't have it in your minds. So he holds islay muktza, he has muktza, so where you yourself push it away, like with dry fruits, of the kol shekain. So there can't be that this is Rabbi Yehuda. Hello, Reb Shimon, it must be Reb Shimon, and he says all types of fruits. So the Gemara answers, Rabbi Yehuda. No, really, it's Rabbi Yehuda. But you need it because of the food aspect. Since this is regular food and it was leftovers, or it was you were planning on eating it, so then you think, okay, if I decide I want to use it on Shabbos, then I can use it because it's oichel. No, since you brought it up to your roof to dry it, so Rabbi Yehuda says it means that you've given up on it, and therefore it's going to be muktza all Shabbos. Again, we're saying it's Rabbi Yehuda, and the chiddush, even according to Rabbi Yehuda, is that you would think since it's eichel, at any time I could change my mind and decide to eat it. So he's saying no, since you put it up on the roof, you are being masiach das, right? Yeah. Right. Then Taisus is the one. The third Taisus up is the one that says that these things decay and they get to this middle stage. These dry fruits they decay to the point where they become. You're not gonna want to take them. They're edible, but you're not gonna take them until they get better, right? But he says what's the chiddush about a farsikin? Now you got farsikin is an apricot. What did he say? Is apricot? Yeah. So that's even though that one doesn't get as bad. Still we have the same thing. Okay, so Reb Shimon bar Rebbi mi Rebbi. So Reb Shimon bar Rebbi. Now it gets confusing here because this is not Reb Shimon. This is not the Reb Shimon we're discussing. This is Reb Shimon bar Rebbi, asked from Rebbi. Patzile Timra. Right. So Patzile Timra is they're not raw. How do you say it? Not ripe. They're not ripe dates. So Rashi says what they basically did is these things never got ripe on the tree. What you do is you put them into these special baskets made out of like lulavim, and they get ripe in the baskets. Right? So now if you took it and put it into the basket, so the Reb Shimon Mao, what would Reb Shimon say about that? Right? Meaning because is lemaisa, it's not edible, and you put it into these baskets. So are you masiach das from it, and therefore you're not going to use it a whole Shabbos? Amalei ain muktza Reb Shimon elagragos v'tzuvim levad. So Rebbe answered his son, and he said no, it's not muktza because the only thing Reb Shimon holds as muktza is dried figs and what do you say, Yossi, raisins? Yeah. The Rebbe, so the Gemara says, "But Rebbe lesle muktza." Does Rebbe not hold a muktza? But tanan ein mashkin v'shoytin has some midbarius. You're not allowed to give. You're not allowed to give to drink these cows that we call midbarius. Those that are literally they go out into the midbar, and you're not allowed to shech them either. Meaning, obviously, it's talking about on Yom Tov, right? Aval mashkim shechnan is a baisos, but the baisos, which is the ones that are more at home from the word bias, that you are allowed to do. Again, the Mishnah says that the ones that roam around out in the midbar are considered muktza, and therefore you're not allowed to give it to drink, and you're not allowed to shecht it on Yom Tov. But the ones that are biases, the ones I guess domesticated, I don't know if that's the right way to translate it. The ones that are more domesticated, they would be allowed. The Tanya Elohim midbaris. What are midbaris? How do you describe midbaris? Kol sheyotzes Pesach. They go out on Pesach and ichnases pervia, and they come back a quarter 3 months later. They come right, so they're out for 3 months. Biases, and what are biases? Kol sheyotzes rois chutz tchum u'bais lanas b'seichat tchum. They go out of the tchum, but they always come back within the tchum, right? So therefore, you know that they're readily available. Meaning, the ones that are the midbarius, they're going out for 3 months. So if one of them happens to roam in on Shavuos, let's say, you didn't expect it there, so therefore it's muktza. But the ones that come and go, then usually stay within the tchum, so then those are not muktza because you expect them to be there. So Rebbi Omer Elu Baisis, saying those are both considered baisis. Right? Ve'elohein midvaris, what are midvaris? Kol sherois ba'afar ve'ein nechnasis yushav loy b'masachar loy b'masak shom. They hang out. I don't know how you touch ba'afar, but just they I don't know. Is an article have a touch for that? You must have it. Anyways, okay. When anybody says it, whatever it is, they go far out and they don't come back to civilization. Not b'masachar loy b'masak shom. Right? They're really like, you're totally giving up on them. Right? Whatever it is, you see that Rebbi holds a muktza, because Rebbi's saying that these things are muktza. These ones that roam around way out, he's saying they're muktza. So Gemara says a few tirot. Some say, no, these are grogros and tzimukim. Right? Because you are pushing these animals out to go roaming out. So since you push them out, it's no different than putting up dried fruits to put on your roof. Rebbi is saying his answer according to Reb Shimon. He himself doesn't hold of it, meaning he was answering his son Reb Shimon's question based on, if you hold like Reb Shimon, this is the answer. But he wasn't giving him halacha l'maisa. He was being asked the question according to Reb Shimon, so he's answering according to Reb Shimon, but he himself did not hold of it. Rebbi is saying the opposite. He's answering according to the Rabbanan. Meaning, in the case of the animal, sending them out, out to graze. The Ram the Rabbanon Kamalu, Leslie Muksa Klal. According to me, I don't have Muksa at all. Like Reb Shimon, you should at least agree to me that when you send them out on Pesach and they come in 3 months later on the Reviyah, that's considered biases. Those are considered domesticated and they shouldn't be Muksa. But Rabbanon normally those are considered midbarius, and therefore they are not, you didn't expect them to come back. Fine. Okay, that's the end of that. Okay, so Amar Rabba Baruch. Now the Gemara goes with for the next while, Amud and change about who do we paskin like Reb Shimon or not? Did Reb Yochanan paskin like Reb Shimon or not? Makes a big difference in the halacha l'maisa. If you paskin like Reb Shimon, there's very few things that are muksa. Right? So let's see. So Amar Rabba Baruch Amar Reb Yochanan Amru halacha ki Reb Shimon. Right? So Rabbi Yochanan said, Amru, now Rashi says, interesting, Amru means the B'nai Yeshiva. Rashi says, the B'nai Yeshiva said, it's sort of like, this is the Welt, right? I mean, he doesn't call it the Welt, he calls it the B'nai Yeshiva. The B'nai Yeshiva say that the love is like of Shimon, right? That's what Rabbi Yochanan said. So what it says, when we Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Hochi, did Rabbi Yochanan say that? This elder from Kruya or Sruya, those are names of cities, Rashi says. They asked Rabbi Yochanan, Kina Shatar Negoilus, if you have a Kina of Tarnagoilus, not a coop.
Coop.
The coop? It's not a
Coop.
What do they sit on? A nest? It's not a nest? Coop?
Portable chicken coop.
Okay. All right. I thought it was like a nest. Okay. Either way, I don't think it changes the. So Kina, we'll go with art school for sure. Kina.
You come out to South Bend, you'll learn all this stuff real quick.
Yeah. Actually, there's a Tosfos here that's very negaya. We'll get to it in a few minutes. Yeah. Kina Shatarnagoilus, Malu Tatula B'Shabbos. A coop, a chicken coop of a Tarnagoilus, are you allowed to move that coop on Shabbos? Amrulay, so they said to him, Klum Asli Ela Tarnagoylan. Wasn't this chicken coop was only made for Tarnagoylan? It wasn't meant for human use, so therefore it should be muktza. Right? So what do you see? He does hold a muktza. Rabbi Yochanan answered him and he said about muktza. So clearly Rabbi Yochanan does hold a muktza. So how can Rabbi Yochanan say that they say that the law is like Reb Shimon? So Gemara answers, how come I ask you this pay a mace? No, because this is talking about where there was a chick that was dead in it. So that's why it was muktza, right? Meaning there was nothing to do with it, right? Meaning even Reb Shimon would be maida that if there's a dead chick in there, then it would be considered muktza. Even though Rashi says Reb Shimon holds that meat is not muktza because you can give it to your dogs, right? He said, but that's a frayach is not going to be like that. So hanicha. 1 second. So let's stop there a second. How come the Gemara says that there was a chick that was dead? Why can't the Gemara say that there was a chick that was alive? Bali Chaim, things that are alive are muktza, right? Yeah, you hear what I'm saying? Here, it's not my kasha. It's Tyson's kasha. Why does the Gemara jump to that it's a dead chick in there? Why can't you say that there's a live chicken in there, and a live chicken is muktza, and therefore the cage that it's in or the coop is muktza, right? Like we just been learning, whatever the muktza is on is in itself muktza. Yeah. So
maybe there's a concern to need to remove the dead animal.
No, that's true.
From the live ones.
No, what we're trying to do is say that this is muktza.
Only Simon is concerned about the mason of dead animals. In South Bend, they're very makbid on that. Not just.
I'm going to take a different.
Parrots, it's novella. You can't smoke it.
Yeah, well, okay. But anyways, Taisvis, look at the Taisvis, the second Taisvis. Hachamay Askinan, the Ispei Afroyach Meis. I don't know why the Paiskim don't bring this Taisvis. It's very negaya to those that have dogs, okay, or any pets. Yeah, Peter, that's right, or two for sure. Peter Sharab Rav Yosef, the loy not going to Afroyach Chai, right? The Rav Yosef says that it didn't say it's talking that there was a live chick there. You can use a live chick to try and make a kid laugh when the kid's crying, right? So what is he saying? He's saying that it's not a chick is not muktza because it could be used for kids to play with. Okay.
Also, it's his.
What?
It belongs to him.
No, it doesn't make a difference. Bali Chaim are muktza. Bali Chaim are muktza. The only tzad in the place.
My dog is not muktza though. At least for me, everybody says. At least myself, it's not muktza.
Who said?
I don't know. Everybody says at least if you own it, you're good to use
that's
it.
A big no. It's not pushing. I'm not. We got a lot of dog owners on this year now. At least
all right, put yourself on mute then.
So Yaakov, just a quick question: Why is it a basis l'davar? Why is this a basis l'davar usher? The chick didn't die till Shabbos, and where's the migu diskatzoi that happens to the buses, or does it not need to have that?
No, first of all, who says it wasn't dead from before?
I thought the chick died on Shabbos.
It doesn't say that. I thought it was dead before that.
Does it matter if it committed suicide or no?
What?
Does it matter if it committed suicide or it doesn't matter?
I don't know if it can. I don't know. I gotta ask your brother about that.
Didn't they used to take the chef?
Rashi says that it died on Shabbos.
Rashi says that?
B'Shabbos. Yes.
Which Rashi?
Rashi, the Isbei Efrayach Meis.
I don't know. Does he mean that, or he means v'haya froyach? I guess shemeis b'Shabbos nami loy habadaite me'esma leklavim.
But how does it normally work?
The other way. Rashi's coming from a different end. Rashi's saying if it would have died from before Shabbos, right? He's saying
I could understand, but I could understand that. If it dies before Shabbos, it becomes a basis l'davar usher because you're not going to go ahead and move it.
Rashi's saying the other way around. That if it would die before Shabbos, it shouldn't be muktza because you would have in mind to give the efrayach to animals.
Okay, fine. So obviously it happened on Shabbos. The question is why, if something wasn't a basis l'davar usher before Shabbos and there's no migdus katzoi that happened by Bein HaShmashim, would it then become usher when it's now dies on Shabbos?
Just 1 second. So David HaMelech
a dead dog is more important than David HaMelech. David
That's what
HaMelech
says that
became
before.
muktza. But I'm saying this
What?
according to Reb Shimon.
A dead dog is more important? No, because
Yeah.
you could chop up a dead dog and give it out. You're not going to chop up David HaMelech. I hear that question. I hear.
Just put a baby on it. You'll be all right.
No, but I think Akiva, the pshat is that since yeah, so I mean you're not going to get over that one, huh? I think the pshat is that it's meant to have chicks in it. So Mamela, it's the buses is there already. Meaning it's not like the case we had before with the meter with money. You never put money on.
Yeah, it's meant to have live chicks. You're saying it's meant to have dead chicks?
No, it's
that's
meant
what
to
you
have
had in
live
mind.
chicks. Live, it's meant to have.
So then,
whatever it is,
I'm saying Ben Hashmashas is not usher.
No, it is.
How does it become usher now?
Because it's really
the chick wasn't dead on
it's meant to have chicks though. So Mamela doesn't have me. It's not like a dead chick on a table, right? That it doesn't have that it would have to be the Ben Hashmashas. This thing is meant to have chicks, live, dead, whatever it is.
So I'm saying that's Basas Davar Mutter.
Why?
It's mutter, Kolzman. It's not dead. It's mutter, correct?
No, why are you saying that? Live chick would be why? Live chick is also muktzah.
No, it is.
Sure.
We just said it's not.
No,
Rashi says that we're not handling a bus over here. Rashi holds that this kino is a klisha malach d'lister.
A who?
Rashi right before that says that this kino is a klisha malach d'lister.
Why is it a malach d'lister?
Correct.
It's not all buses.
Why is it a malach d'lister? What's making it usher?
Because it's meant for
what is making it usher though? It's not.
No.
The whole chick is making it usher.
Right, but a live chick is also usher. That's what Taisus Kasha is. Taisus Kasha is. That's what I'm trying to get at. Taisus Kasha is that a live chick is also muktza. Bali Chaim are muktza. Contrary to
obviously the Gemara is saying a very specific case of mace, right? According to Rashi.
Correct. So that's what I'm saying. So Taisus is asking, why can't you say a Freya Chai? Why can't you say he's live?
Yeah, Taisus Tarot says that Chai wouldn't be muktza according to Hashem.
Well, that's what Taisus slugs that up. But that's the point that I was trying to bring out is that the poskim that say bezman hazeh that if somebody has a pet, that you're allowed, it's not considered muktza for the owner, which is what Aaron Zweig was getting at. Is he still there? He bailed. Okay. Anyway, maybe
I'm
he bailed out. Oh, you're there. Okay, good. So the tzadim that they bring, there's a footnote in Shmir Shabbos Kol Chasa who discuss it, but they don't quote this shita in the Taisus because Lamaisa they slug up this Taisus.
You're not moving the animal though. This is not. You're moving the cage.
No, I know, but why can't the cage be muktza because of a live animal? Why does the Gemara jump to a dead animal?
Right. No, I get that.
Taisus in the Havamina says because a live animal you're going to use it to entertain the kids. Which the poskim that say that if you have a pet that you're allowed to move it is because they say that bizman hazeh, those things are meant as toys. Animals are meant as toys, not as bali chaim the way they were back then. That's the practical halacha to learn out. But again, most poskim disagree with that and they hold that you can't. But the ones that are mekel go with this sad, but they don't really quote this Taisus. So okay, whatever.
So if one second. And if it's a toy, if let's say your dog is a toy, then why can't anybody and any kid play with it? I happen to know that if I take my dog to somebody's house, he doesn't let his kids play with it on Shabbos.
The truth, yeah, if you're going to go with those poskim, which are very few, but if you're going to go with those poskim, then anybody can play with it. It's a toy. It's a toy. You got to look at it like a toy. Meaning, if you can look at it like a balachayim, then it's muktza. There's nothing to talk about, even for the owner. But if you go with this sad in the Tosfos that it's as a toy to make a kid laugh, then you don't have an issue of muktza. That's the only tzad.
I guess that's the heter for Zwag himself.
That's what he's saying. Yes.
I agree. My dog is absolutely a toy.
Okay, well tell that to the what do you call it people, the PETA people, man. They'll come shoot you.
Not only would they shoot me, they would shecht me.
But I have a riot to you because I always had a kasha. How come these people that love their dogs don't seatbelt their dogs, right? Every time I pull up the traffic light, the dog's jumping around in the car. Why don't they have to seatbelt them? Elamai, it's a toy, not a balchai. Who seatbelts their toys, right? That's a riot to you. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, you mask him. Okay, fine. Anyways, weiter. So the Gemara says that really Rabbi Yochanan holds like Reb Shimon, but here, because it's an Afrayach Mei, so therefore it's going to be, it's muktza, even according to Reb Shimon. So the Gemara says, Hanicha lemar barameimar mishmei derav damar moidai Reb Shimon b'alechaim shemeisu shasurin. That's only according to the opinion that holds that Reb Shimon agrees that live things that are dead are muktza. Elamar breder Rav Yosef mishmei derava damar chalakai Reb Shimon afilu b'alechaim shemeisu shem b'tarin. But if you go with the opinions that hold that Reb Shimon, even dead animals that die, Reb Shimon says are not muktza, so then what are you going to say? Why is this thing muktza? So answers, no, there's an actual egg in there, which we said that, well, we said this before, and the Gemara is going to ask about it now, that we said that noilad, even Reb Shimon is moided, meaning something that wasn't in existence before Shabbos, and then it comes into existence on Shabbos, is going to be muktza, even according to Reb Shimon. Right? So didn't Reb Nachman say that if you hold the muktza, you have the isra of noilad, and if you don't hold the muktza, you don't have the noilad, right? So according to him, he disagrees with this rule that we just said, and says if you don't hold the muktza, you don't hold the noilad, and anything that's born on Shabbos would also be okay. So what are you going to say? So we say the isbe beitza safrayach. No, so there's an egg with a chick in it. So that nobody wants. Yeah, so therefore, that's going to be muktza according to everybody. Because who's going to, even a dog will not eat a chick, an egg with a chick in it. So Rabbi Yitzchak, Rabbi Yosef said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Shimon Levi said halacha is like Rabbi Shimon. When he said that the halacha is like that, they said b'shem Yochanan, the halacha is like Reb Shimon. They said they were saying that's what these people said, but he himself, Reb Yochanan, did not hold of this. Meaning he was quoting others that said the halacha is like Reb Shimon, but he himself didn't hold that. Do you not hold that Rav Yochanan holds like Rabbi Yehuda? Rav Abba and Rav Asi. Now we say a little story here. Rav Abba and Rav Asi iklu lebei Rav Abba de min Haifa. They went to Rav Abba from Haifa's house, but nafal menarta al klimid de Rav Asi, and the menora, right, the lamp, fell over onto the coat of Rav Asi, and nobody moved it. Now, why didn't they move it? My time, Allah Mishum de Rav Asi talmidid Rav Yochanan Abba, is the reason why Rav Asi didn't move this lamp off of his coat was because he's a Talmud of Yochanan, but Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Yochanan held like Rabbi Yehuda the Islay Muktza, and that he held a Muktza. So clearly you see Rabbi Yochanan holds of Muktza like Rabbi Yehuda. Amarlei Menarta Kamret. You bring proof from a menora, Menarta Shani. Menora is different. Damar Rav Acha Bar Chanina. Or Rav Asi Hayr Rishlakish B'tzida Menora. And he tells us the other Achas Motel Taltua. A menora, and this gets to what we discussed yesterday. A menora that's a handheld menora, meaning it could be held in one hand, is mutter. If it's the menora is so big that you need to hold it with two hands, then it's also latal to go. Then you're not allowed to take it. Rabbi Yochanan, Reb Shimon. We only hold of a ner like Reb Shimon, of a menora, but a menora bein nitla b'yadei achas, bein nitla b'shtei yadav, also latal to go. A menora, whether it's carried in one hand or two hands, it's also to take it. At time of night. Why not? Why are you not allowed to use a menora? Is because a menora you put in a specific place, which we discussed yesterday. The reason why menora is muktza, even if you never lit from it nowadays or any time, is because you have a specific place. Usually you have it on a shelf or whatever it is. You never move it. So that's why it's muktza. So basically, what we're saying is don't bring a proof from a menora, because menora, everybody says is a two-handed menora at least is going to be muktza. So then Gemara says, but you have a canopy bed of a chasanim, right? So it's a bed that has like a teepee to it. That's the person has a set bed. He doesn't move the bed. You're allowed to lean it, meaning you're allowed to create the canopy. It's sort of like a teepee, and it's your mutter, you take it apart on Shabbos, right? So, but you don't move the bed. The bed stays in a place. It's talking about a menora that comes in pieces, right? So, we're afraid if you're gonna move that menora, you're going to take it apart. You know, you have these menoras that you twist it, and it comes in different parts. So we're afraid that if you're going to move it, then you're going to end up putting it back together. My time with the Reb Shimon if that's the case, and we're afraid that you're going to take apart this menora, put it back together, so why does Reb Shimon Lakish say that it's mutter, at least the one-handed one, right? My chulius ke'ein chulius. Now, it doesn't mean it actually comes in different pieces. It's like different pieces. The ispe chitki, that it has little grooves in it, and therefore it looks like it's in different pieces, but it's really not. If it comes in pieces, whether it's a large menora or a small menora, you're not allowed to take it. And the gedayla also that has these grooves in it is you're not allowed to take gezerah atu gedayla the chulius, because it's a gezerah of a large menora that has chulius, so you might end up confusing the two and you end up taking it. We're talking about a small menorah, a small lamp that has in it these grooves. Marsava gazrina and Marsava lo gazrina. One holds that you do make a gezerah of by a small menorah up to it might be a large a small menorah with grooves. You're gonna end up taking that. You might end up taking a small menorah that can come apart. And the other mandamar holds that there's no gezerah, and as long as it's just grooves and it's not in different parts, then it's fine to take. Okay.
How is this not gzera at this point? There's so many different gzeras going on here. The whole Isser is Isser Darabanan, so it's definitely gzera.
Yeah, I hear. I don't know why it's not gzera. You couldn't give me a lot of homework tonight, Akiva.
I apologize.
No apologies. That's the way it should be. Yes, I'm done. Anyways, all right.
I zoned out for a minute. What did we learn about the dog not eating an egg with a chicken?
Can't hear you.
I zoned out for a minute. What did we learn about the dog not eating an egg with a chicken?
The dog won't want. A dog will not want to eat a egg that has a chick already formed in it.
And
meaning there's a chick, but it's just cracked, so it still has the skin on, not the skin. What do you call it? The
feathers, the embryo stuff.
No, the shell. The shell. Since it has the shell, the dog is not gonna.
Gotcha.
Oh, look at that! We got a baby Simon on here.
What?
We got a baby Simon here.
No, we're gonna put it on the next mace.
Don't mention babies around Simon. It's a very touchy subject for him.
We have a baby Simon. Like it.
Yeah.
So, by the way, dogs used to have a purpose.
What do you say?
Dogs nowadays are a toy, legitimate, but they used to have a purpose. Meaning,
it's not true. You can't say it's a toy because people could consider it better than their kids.
Okay, regardless. Enough telling. Pipe down.
We weren't talking your case.
They used to watch the Fox. They used to watch the house. They used to watch
They cancel it.
They cancel it?
Now, my dog, not only would the rabbis came in my house, both my dogs would roll over and want to be scratched on their belly.
The rabbis were fighting too?
That's first. And second, why are we worried about what dogs are or not going to eat in this case? I mean, they'll eat everything. Dogs literally eat everything.
And besides that, Filipinos eat it all the time. There's a guy I work with. He eats something called balug. It's an egg with an unformed chicken in it, with a beak and feathers and everything. What?
It's actually a duck, and it's a delicacy.
Yeah, in third world nastiness infected countries.
The place where the coronavirus came from, yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you saying? Bottom line, what are you saying?
I wonder if those guys are trying to sell me on the road when I'm driving.
I just feel, I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking
The whole case of a dog not eating something and things like that, it's something. I don't know why they bring up these really strange things. Dogs eat everything. Also, coming Pesach time, dogs literally eat and drink everything. They drink out.
Right.
By the way, Gershie, you're going to Cleveland. You can still be part of the Daf, even from Cleveland.
Oh.
Yeah, I see. And I'm excited about that.
You may just have to have internet.
Years of strawberry.
I don't know. It's not that important.
I'm sure you can find an internet cafe in Cleveland and join in.
Yeah, I still have a phone. What's the difference?
You're moving to
There's
Cleveland?
no towers. There's no towers there. You got to do what Simon does. He gets up on his roof with tinfoil.
Looks like
You're moving to Cleveland, Gershon?
Ritz Hashem, yeah.
When?
Moving to Cleveland?
What?
When?
When Ritz Hashem, about 6